shucks. Wait a minute. I'm so excited. Yeah, we all in. Come on out. Why? Because you got the do-rag on? Hello, everyone. Indy Slims TV. I got Lenny Green. I told Lenny I'm using him tonight. We have not been on YouTube. No. No one's paying for you.
Right.
No one has booked you through me and paying me. I'm not giving you a cut of anything. I'm using your looks and your mind and your heart.
Doesn't she do it so well? She does it so well.
Make you feel good.
The power of a woman.
The last time we were on YouTube together. Oh God. It was Reality of Love. And I could see. I no longer can see clear. So you're gonna have to read for me what's going on because I swear I can't. I'm blind. I'm just Mwata, can you see?
Yeah.
Why don't you welcome your audience?
You gotta welcome audience.
Hi audience. I can't see the audience. Who's there?
That's okay.
They see you. Don't worry about it.
So I'm a live YouTuber in training, y'all. This is the first live. Of course, I'm gonna have Lenny because I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him. I do have a topic I want to talk about. I want to go in on this, not on Ebony K. Williams. Actually, I really do like her and admire her. But I want to go into the depth of why we still feel that value is something we see and not something we feel. That being said, I miss Reality of Love. I miss these conversations. And now the whole world is eating off of what we did.
So to give you a little backstory, back in the day, we had a producer by the name of Vito, Global Vito.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, before it was YouTube, I think it was Ustream.
Yeah.
And we used that platform. YouTube was around, but we used Ustream platform. And we would get together on Thursdays behind the scenes and bring some people into the studio. And we would just have a in-depth conversation about love, relationships, and just go at it.
Or whatever the topic was.
Or whatever the topic was. Yeah. So,
right.
We're behind. A lot of people, all this has come to the forefront. We fell back and out of the situation. So now it looks like we're kind of piggybacking and coming up to where everybody else is right now. So,
and we have to navigate it when we're together because even that, it's a lot of goings on behind the scenes where we're not together all the time anymore. So the opportunity presented itself. I'm like, that's it.
And this cat on the other side of me is my brother. You may not have ever seen him.
Big old man. I have no problem saying that. 75 this year, son. Remember that.
Do you want to introduce like your new chapter and what you're doing?
Well, I'm a former Brooklynite, New York person, but now I am part of the Jersey Shore, Asbury Park. I am known as the Asbury Park Weather Guy, which you can find us on the APTV YouTube channel down in Asbury Park.
Bougie weather guy, because he be on the beach.
I've never seen this guy on the beach. No, he's not.
He's always on the beach.
I mean, he's not on the beach like I'm on the beach.
Falling storm. I'm a storm.
Yeah, he's a storm.
If there's a storm, I'm out there.
Okay. He's still bougie. He's still working. Anyway, so welcome to this new live. I pray that I bring you as much information as I can as I get it, both spiritual and entertaining. My root is based in spirituality. I am very much, you chase weather, I chase spirit. I can hear it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I can hear it. So, I'm just grateful to be able to do this with you for the first time. So what has been going on in the world of Lenny Green? Let me get to that first.
Lenny Green.
Other than jet setting.
My middle name is Work. Lenny Work Green. I just do a lot of work. I'm in between two cities where I'm able to do both shows, New York and Miami. But we have, by God's grace, a bunch of affiliate stations around the country that carry the show as well. And I'm slowly branching out to kind of just say hello and get out there. So I think the first stop I'm going to make is Milwaukee because the OJs are going to be in Milwaukee and say hello to the folks in Milwaukee. But I'm just focusing on just trying to do better. I'm throwing an event down in Miami on June 23rd with my special guest, Kenny Lattimore.
Mm.
But August 6th is going to be the 18th or 19th annual Lenny Green Family Day in Brooklyn at
In
Von Theme
Brooklyn.
Park. So we hope that you come out and be a part of it. It's absolutely free. So if you are in the Tri-State of New York, come on out and hang out with us on Sunday, August 6th, from noon until 6 o'clock.
And let's shout out all of the affiliates. Like, since we've been on a live, your brand, the Quiet Storm brand, has grown. So like, let's give that some accolades, and like, where can
So
everyone like hear us and see you? And
you can hear us in Augusta, Georgia, on Magic 100.9. We're in Athens, Georgia, where the University of Georgia is, at 95.9, the beat of Athens. We're also in Atlanta, Georgia. If you go to the HD though, it's WIGO. It's one of the first black stations in Atlanta. WIGO 1570 on the AM, 1570 AM. Yep. If you're in Alabama, we're in Tuscaloosa. We're one of the big stations in the state of Alabama. We're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And you can hear us in Demopolis. You can also hear us in Birmingham, Alabama. We're in Jacksonville, Florida. And you know about Jacksonville, Florida. From his naval days, he knows about Jacksonville, Florida. We're on Hot 99.5. We're in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City at Heart and Soul 92.1, 1140. We're also in Tulsa, Oklahoma at KGTO, which is the same people that own it. It's a distinguished brother, older gentleman, who owns both stations, and he also owns a station in Augusta, Georgia, Magic 100.9. So because of him, by God's grace, we're in Augusta, we're in Tulsa, and we're in Oklahoma City. You can also catch us on the beautiful island of Nassau, Bahamas at Global 99.5. You can also catch us in the Bayou in Louisiana at Magic 92.1, Lake Charles, Louisiana. You can catch us, in Arkansas, in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, on 99.3 The Beat. And I'm squeezing my head now. So I know there's one more I'm missing. I know I'm missing one more, but I'll come back with it.
We're here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Michigan.
Michigan.
Yes.
Shout out to Brandon.
Brandon.
Brandon is the producer for the Quiet Storm. So Michigan, in Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and in Grand Rapids. We're on WBXX and WKFR. So that's where the family is. And because of WBLS, obviously WBLS is the nucleus, is the branch, is the foundation of where we all grow from. And of course it's WBLS 107.5. And the brand, we get picked up surprisingly in other cities that we don't even know about. I've heard from people in Texas. I've heard from people in Chicago. I've heard from people in Philadelphia, in the Carolinas. We're not the show is not in those cities, but people listen to us online. So if you know any folks around the country, please make sure that you tell them about us.
We're getting a lot of smiley faces
and so let me shout out Cheryl James. Thank you so much.
Cheryl James,
I knew
happy faces, smiling. Toast to you, Cheryl.
Toast to you. That's my girl. I knew. So, but thank you to everyone that you just shouted out. And by the way, Lenny's working, so I don't expect him to be planted in. Look, he's already switching. He's like, I gotta get to the board.
Serious.
But I'm gonna start the conversation, and you may not see him, but you will hear him.
Always hear
And
Always
really,
hear him.
is that your shade?
Yes.
So we're gonna get this started real quick. Ebony K. Williams and Iyanla Vanzant. The part of the conversation that struck me was when Iyanla, you could tell Iyanla was listening. And Ebony presented a great case about this isn't a color thing, but there are no men to meet the standards of where women have progressed to. And so how do we as women navigate our relationships now, trying to find a man who is on our level, right? Oh yeah. I say that very loosely, Mawada. Don't think I'm taking that phrase. I'm not about, but for the lack of understanding, on our level. And Iyanla asked her, when she was done, would she date a bus driver? And Ebony heard her, but she had to clutch her pearls and take a minute. And she paused and she said that she would if he owned the bus.
So she's looking for status quo.
Okay, she owned the bus. Now, so this is the thing. We don't know where that came from. I no, we don't. That's one of my points tonight. One of my points will be we need to start learning how to listen to one another, right? Listen to understand, not to respond. And so it's easy for me to immediately go to, oh my God, how could you say that? Where are your morals? Where are your values? Where, not understanding the lens in which she speaks. So, two very affluent men here, not looking for a woman with money, don't need that. How do you speak to that?
Can I back up?
Yes.
See, you're saying, I like how you said it before, but you see, when you're in the public eye, when you're on a public platform, when you're on social media, no one's going to know you have to be so transparent and fully honest. And that again, we didn't see the entire interview.
Right.
I think you did, but
I didn't. I just
didn't?
No.
So I would hope, giving her the benefit of the doubt, of a fraction benefit of the doubt, that she went in depth and she explained her position as that person.
Mhm.
Because if you just get a clip, sometimes you can take a 60-minute or a 90-minute piece and conform to whatever thoughts you need to conform to.
Right.
But if you're going to sit down in front of social media, if you're going to be on any public platform, you're going to need to be as transparent as you need to be so people can understand where you're coming from. Because if people take you off the top and they don't understand where you're coming from, then that mounts up, that in my opinion, that mounts up to a whole new different set of problems.
Right.
But based on what I've heard so far, you see, I'm going to go back to this, and I know my brother has a lot to say on this more than I do before I go back on air. I think women pick men. I think men select women, but women pick us.
Okay.
So sometimes when I hear about women and they complain about certain men, I'm like, well, it's the selections that you made. You see, because by them choosing a certain man, because every man may want one woman. Let's say there's 5 men outside this door, and they all want to have an opportunity just to be with you. Indy comes out and she'll say, for however she measures up a person, because it's visual. You're not sitting, you're not talking intellectually to anybody yet.
Mhm.
So however you measure up a man, you're going to say, I like him. So you come in. But the other guys are standing outside. Now the other guys could be valuable men as well.
Right.
But because of the fact that you chose this man based on whatever kind of criteria you measure people on, man or woman. You allow this person to come forth. So going back to the generalization, if women chooses men, because men select women, in my opinion. This is my rule. Men select women, but women choose us, meaning to want to be with us. Because women have choices, like I said, men have choices. I know, we're overpopulated. There's more women than men, but at the same time, women are in a power position. They're in a power position because they don't have to rock with you. They don't have to decide to hang out with you. They don't have to. They have options. We all have options, right? I respect that. But if you're picking a certain kind of man based on whatever kind of criteria you desire, and this person doesn't measure up to your standards, and then you're going to come back and say, well, all men? Because I had a problem with, she said, there's not enough men. There's no men that measure up to our criteria. Well, what kind of man are you looking for? That's why Iyanla Van Zandt hit it what she hit it with. Because are you checking for the bus driver? Are you checking for the bus driver? Right. Because he's a respectable man. He's making good money.
How are you basing
he has
your
benefits.
Standards?
That's my point.
Okay.
So, individualism is really an issue because you have to dissect that person and understand where this person is coming from. Right. At the end of the day. So I have an issue with anyone who overlooks the average person and looks at the higher echelon of people or status quo people. Because who's to say, look, I don't believe in titles. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of title you have. The bottom line is the character of the person, the heart of the person. That's what matters to me. I don't care if you're the president. I don't care if you're the head of a church. I don't care. That doesn't impress me. What impresses me is the character you are and how you act as a person. Right. So,
and where you're going to be when the ship.
Yeah.
Rocky and rough. Like,
yeah.
What
at the end
does
of the day.
that look like?
So I have an issue with how she just wants a guy who is, well, I don't want a bus driver, but if he owns the company, I want to. So if Hollywood, I'll make this last point. And I'll dip out. Everybody in Hollywood is making money, right? Why is Hollywood has the highest divorce rates?
Right.
If men and women make all the money, is it about the finances?
Mhm.
And people get sold on the fact that it's about money. At the end of the day, if you can have all the money in the world, if you have a child, you can flood that kid with all the money that you have. If that kid doesn't receive love, which is something that's non-monetary, if that kid doesn't receive love, it doesn't matter about all the money that you have. This kid could go out here and be the worst as a person who didn't have any money. So we get so confused with so many things over the years, and we categorize and we assume
And we label people. We put people in boxes and we.
I'll sip to that.
Right. Well, so I have a question. They'll hear you. My question is though, what if her saying if he owns it wasn't based off of his income, but based off of what it took for him to achieve that? Do you see what I'm saying? What if it's based off of, if he owns it, because if he owns it, he knows what it's like to earn something of that magnitude. He there's a work ethic in it.
So why would he want her? What has she earned?
Well,
That depends how he looks at it too.
right,
exactly.
Right.
That's, and let me, I agree with what you say, is how people look at it. And I'll say this as a retired blue collar worker, EMS medic. And the whole thing in society, and I'm coming from a more maybe left point of view, in America is based on class.
Yeah.
And the class perception we have is based on what's on the media. And people judge people because that's what you see 24/7. Well, if this is such and such, you're better. How we promote entertainers, how we promote ball players, how we promote rich people. Those are become the standards. That's why we have people who mess up, like these rich people, like Elon Musk and all these other folks who mess up and mess up Twitter and everything else. But because they're who they are, people aspire to be like them. The whole society is based on like these people are better than us because they reach those levels. But how do they get to those levels? Who do they step on to get there? We don't look at how they got there. We just look at, we want what they have. And end of the day, what makes a person better? It's not what material you have. It's like you say, what's in your brain, what's in your heart, how you treat your fellow human being. And I think that's the problem with this capitalist society. We judge everything based on what we think we want materialistically. And that comes from a very bougie, class-based capitalist society.
And that doesn't guarantee love.
Right? But we base love on that.
But it's a sharp blank.
But think about how we give love. We always want to give more material love. Like, love, like love for your mother is loving your mother. Love for your wife is taking care of her 2365, is loving her. Not what you give to her on special days.
But it's a fair exchange. Like if you really have the right person in your life, she's not gonna wait for special days. If she sees something, she's out and about on a regular day. Oh, I think you like this. Or this is him. I want to see him in this. I get it. I don't. That's the kind of character I was. When mommy was alive, I would see something. I'd say, that would look good on mom. So I'll buy it. I don't wait for Mother's Day. I don't wait for her birthday. I just get it when I get it.
Well, do you think that we're so far in a privileged mentality that some of those things maybe need to be stripped away in order to find our own value base to pick and choose the right people? Like, not for nothing, the pandemic kind of stripped us all of our luxuries. It's most of us,
to a large degree, but there's still a lot of privilege going on. And people who have privilege still set the standards. Like I mentioned earlier, the athlete, the entertainer, the rich people, they set the standard. Everybody else wants to be like them. I'll give you a quick example. When I was on a job as a medic, I used to talk about how rich people pay more taxes than me as a middle class, working class, blue collar guy. And I say, shouldn't that be wrong? They say no, because one day I'll be rich too, and I don't want to pay taxes. So people really believe that.
Somebody said that to you?
Yes, somebody said that. People believe this stuff. Like this is the standard I want to go to.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I've never heard I think I was smacked with you.
No, it's shocking, but you find out where people at now.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, drop a dollar. You see who hollers. So I mean, hey, well, I think it's easy also for me to go straight for the jugular and attack based on what you've shown me. But then I took a step back and I wanted to dissect it. Now, when I initially brought it up to them, all of our faces like, right?
Mm.
But okay, I'm gonna play another devil's advocate. Should we not have standards though?
I mean, everybody has some kind of standards.
Okay, but don't voice it.
Oh, no, you understand, and you can voice it, but if your stand based on materialism, I have a problem. Like I say, if I go out with a woman on a date, she don't know how expensive place I go or I'm going to pay or whatever. That's materialistic standards, and the whole thing is based on materialism. Sometimes I've gone on first dates, made everyone successful, but I have problem paying the whole bill. Why should I have to do that? I have no problem. It should be somebody quality.
That's the topic we got. We're supposed to want to get.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
What was that? No. We did, but we were supposed to go back and revisit it. I saw, but that'll be another story.
There's a mutual friend of ours. I'm not gonna mention his name. And when he met his lady, or even prior to this relationship, his rule was, I take you on a date, but the next date we have you take me.
Hello.
Because
look at your face.
So because he said that way, I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
Right.
Which I understand, because look, as I know we have some great ladies out here, but there's some gold diggers out here. There's some railroad people on both sides of the street.
What is Brandon's holding?
Come on, producer, speak your mind, brother.
There's a lot
We need a young
going
voice
on.
in this.
Yeah,
Come over here,
we
brother.
like,
Yeah,
where-
young voice. Speak your mind.
This is Brandon Johnson.
Okay, Brandon, are you dating or are you in a relationship?
Oh no, I'm just dating.
Here we go.
Because I feel like, I know you mentioned like before, Indy, like once you meet someone, you're in a relationship.
Okay.
No, I don't think that works.
I'm
Because
old.
No,
like,
but
I should
you can't.
know though.
No,
like,
no.
No more. I've got to figure
The
this out.
first word is you're old. That's what you're.
What?
That's why you think that way.
Why do you automatically put like terms on it?
Because I don't want to I'm very, y'all don't know me. You haven't met me. This is a new version
Indeed,
of reality
you're
of
like
love.
an exclusive, right?
Yeah, I've
You take it out
always
once, you
been-
got it.
Well,
I don't like you.
She's giving off. Like,
No.
and you didn't like him. And that's not a relationship no more, right?
So because you're separating all of the other engagements, like we're gonna speak on the phone for days, maybe weeks. We're gonna,
You set rules. Everybody.
But are you speaking to that person multiple times before you go out on a date? Then you'll know, like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in my mind, the date is the conversation. And I don't think I've ever said that to you. Like maybe the dates need to be the conversation.
hold on, but what's on the phone then?
Yeah, like
I don't know. Like we're just speaking about, oh, yeah.
Talking is
I feel like I'm getting
somebody else know what their vibe is.
No, but see, if we have a conversation and you say something or you don't maybe respond or there's a lack of intellectual banter, we're not going on. I don't want to see you in person.
No.
They will in the conversation. Have you heard my mouth? You know me.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, don't call me no.
because honestly, I'll be like running through numbers. Like I've done got so many girls' numbers, but
You don't call them back?
no, it's just like we'll be talking back and forth, and then it just don't work out. So it's like I got numbers like they coupons. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous
That's
nowadays.
because nobody has stimulated you intellectually. You didn't find it. Okay, so why go on that visual date? Date on the phone, have conversations,
Because
and then
I might say a few, quick texts that will lead up to us going out to, date.
Right, because you want to see the
talk
person.
too
You want to
much.
see the
Like
person.
us
No,
as
you do.
young people,
You wanna see the
you don't
person.
have to talk too much.
Thank you.
Get to know the person.
what do you mean talk too much?
Like you don't have too many conversations because I know when I notice when I text women before, I'll text them a few times throughout the day, then I'm gonna hear from them the same night, and they might hit me back the
Can we
next day.
end the text?
You know what I mean?
Can we end the text?
When I
Crazy.
call, that's even worse. They're like, no, I can't talk on the phone right now.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
but
then
you
I'm
know
not
what? No.
interested in you then, like,
And you're absolutely right for that. Then that's my point. Intellectually, there's not something stimulating. If I don't care how old you are, if you graduated high school, you should know how to read. If you know how to read, you should know how to have a conversation. This whole text thing.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah, that's
You
and
gotta
that's
deal with the world we live in.
Well,
You
but
can't just say that.
then that leads to other limitations. So now that's the world we live in. It's going to be a hard time for him to find someone that actually wants to sit and have a conversation.
Well, not the right one.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't text.
Well,
I'm putting it out. I'm putting him out there.
But
The
no,
next time,
but see,
if she
but see, this
texts
is-
you, no. I'm just saying. Let's just do a test. Let's just do a test.
So
We're
you're saying
not
if I meet a
texting.
person in person, get their number, call them, they don't answer, then that's it?
If she doesn't call you, if she don't pick up her phone,
well, why don't we find?
If something
Why don't
happens
we
to
find
you,
out?
But you know
you
what?
need an emergency.
I think that's old school. I disagree with that. So
Well,
let me
then
say
he
this.
needs to be old
Well,
school
no,
so he
I'm
can
older.
find
I'm the
those
oldest
values.
one here. Like I'm the old. Let me tell you what
Definitely
old
the
school is.
oldest one.
I'm the oldest one here. Let me tell you, and I appreciate that there's different ways. Not just you can
It
text you other
doesn't
things,
work all the time though.
but you have to use all of them. You can't just say. See, old school people always say, "Well, back in the day, we couldn't talk to people." That was the problem. Because sometimes you don't know. People call me. I can't talk in time. I'm doing something. So then I text them back. No, but then you text them back. You can't. I don't believe in playing phone tag with people trying to catch up. If you busy, if you're working. No, this is what I take this personal because I deal with. I'm glad we have this technology. Back in the day, we didn't. We had a problem with that.
You have to understand, he's in this generation. And this generation don't understand the old school anyway. But
If the phone goes away, how do I reach you? If something happens,
I can reach
and it's-
anybody.
You reach anybody. The system goes down.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Can you go to a corner and make a phone?
The phones don't work on the corners no more.
What?
No, but I can go.
There's no more phones on the
I
corner.
know.
I can go. I can go in a store, and I can ask to use a
And
phone.
they say, well, I don't know you.
It's an emergency. I haven't. My voice, no, you all
But you know what?
not.
Indy has a personality
Yes.
that it will work. It may not work for everybody.
With old school people.
Look, I'm trying to make sure that he gets a quality person. Someone who is just only communication is through text message, and you can't hear the inflections in their voice. You can't even
I
hear
get you
if
on
she says, "I ain't got" or "I don't have." Like
That's your standard.
that's gonna be his standard too.
Right.
Talking, right.
No,
Everybody has their own standards.
Okay, what if she goes out on the date and then you all separate and then she goes home and you want to know that she got there safe? Wouldn't you rather say her call you like,
Just
I
tell them
just
you
got
text
home?
us.
In that sense, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. I'll be honest.
Look,
You good? Like
Yeah, thank you.
you don't owe me anything.
I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
I just think,
What's
I just
that?
think, I just
Your
think, I
mind's
just
an
think my
alternate universe, a limitation.
you're a
Tell them that.
unicorn. You're a unicorn. No. It's not that I'm doing anything. I just want to be clear. See, I think every man needs to be clear. And what I mean by every man needs to be clear, the guy goes, they separate, she goes home, right? I want to make sure she get home okay. Now, you can't call me, but if you text me, that's cool, right? That's cool.
Even
As
Cheryl
long-
James says, text me.
As long as you say,
That's rude, Cheryl. It's rude.
as long as she says, I'm home. Once she says, I'm home, God forbid, and I don't want anything to happen to anybody, but something should happen. I got the proof. Look, I didn't know. She's home.
Thank you.
I left her
because
because every woman, and I know we have a woman watching, has that one friend. And she's going to say, hey, I'm going out for the night. I just met this guy,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I'm going out such and such.
Thank you.
Now, one person matters to me. I know in the back of my head, you're going to tell somebody that you're going out on a date. And I respect that because I'm going to tell one of my boys I'm out on a date too because, hey, things could go crazy too for me too. So, yeah, I need to let somebody know where I'm at as well. Look, I'm going out with this chick. I don't know. But, if you don't get a call from me, you don't hear from me, you better check in with me. That's the bottom line.
I had one.
You had one?
Well, I'm in a relationship now. On the last date I went on, it,
Well, you had a security person that checked in with afterwards.
yeah.
So we all have that. You just do it a little different.
And it's
We
good to
all
have
a
that
security
detail.
person.
So
You
all
know
you need to
what?
do
This
is
ain't
check.
working for me, Brenda. I'm putting a old school root on you,
The bottom line is,
and
Well,
I want you to find an
Coleman is
old
great.
valued school.
he's not, Brenda's not saying that he's not opposed to Brenda. But if you're going to send me a text, that's just as fine.
Thank you.
That's a confirmation. You're home okay? Okay, I'm free.
You can't use just one technology.
I'm free.
You have to use
Like I
all the
was telling
technology.
Indy,
I don't. I'm just talking
understand
about
cool.
we got to this point because you were saying one date in your mind, right? Well, that's based off of who I am because I know what those are like. That's my base.
Mhm.
So if I don't get that after that first date, I'm looking at you sideways.
Well, you have
like,
to tell the
what
person.
do
You tell the person.
No, I don't have to tell you anything.
No.
That's my
All
litmus
right,
test.
but you're very old school, and most people are not super old school. You're like 30 years ago. I'm serious. I'm saying.
I
I'm saying.
really am.
I'm saying.
My favorite years
It was what?
are the 1940s.
You wasn't even born in the 40s.
No, but it's just so
Listen,
So
my generation. I'm born in the
classy.
40s, 48. Bro.
so classy
And I have problem with that's the problem with America. See, I will tell you my radical side for 2 minutes. America in the 40s was created the problem we have today. And that's why Americans understand we're not where we were in the 40s. Government other side, we're a different time now.
About the government. I'm just talking about
It's
the
all connected.
It was courting. We had
But
courting.
that's
It
the
was
problem.
respect.
It didn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, you had this much divorces, if not now. You had abuse. You had men beating up women, patriarchy. That's America in the 40s created a problem we have now. And I'm saying as a radical from the 60s that was born in the 40s. We have to change how we look at the world.
I love it. I still believe you need to call people. The text message, the texting, it's just it's so inappropriate.
I get it. Like I get it. Look, let me just say this. If you're on a date, it's the first date, second date, you're on a date. Look, that's your opportunity. Put your phone away. I don't want to see your phone. You're not gonna see my phone. I'm gonna put my phone on silent, and this is an opportunity for us to talk, for me to get to know you, to see if you want to make it to the next date, or I'm gonna make it to the next date. It doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, that's where I think that is so important to do. So get to know. There's different modified things that we can do, and it's cool with me. Like I said, a text is fine. A call is great, but a text is fine with me because after a first date, I want to make sure she got home okay, especially if I'm not dropping her home, because I would love to drop her home, but if I'm not able to, or you know what, I'll put her in an Uber. I've done that, but still, I want to make sure she got home okay because
that ties us back into the original conversation of value system. Like if I value myself in such a way, then that's what I'm bringing to the table. Then that's how I'm going to value you, whether you even care or recognize the value in it. But I think that's the problem. We've gotten to a point now where both parties in relationships, forget about gender. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about parties in relationships. We've gotten to a point where we have to defend ourselves and our positions as human beings so much we don't even care about a value system anymore. Anytime I have to literally explain my worthship or my value system to someone I'm trying to love, that's a problem right there.
Trying to get to know and love is two different things. When you first meet and date somebody, you're trying to get to know them. Love doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like it happens in a fairy tale. And also, you can't. It's not that's to me. That's the problem. Super individualism. It's not about. A relationship is about two people coming together and they can agree or disagree on certain things. It's not about my value system is better than yours. What do we agree on? Is that enough to make a relationship? If not, then we move on. And see, that's the problem. Too many people both on the.
But how do you get that? How do you get that?
By asking questions, by talking, by texting, by communicating on many levels to find out. That's what I do. I communicate on many levels to find out. I ask people certain questions. Ask people questions. They kind of won't answer me. Like I talk to women, they say, "Oh, well, let's not talk about that now because now I might bring up something political." And I know where they are. Yeah. So therefore, some people live in the dream world. Well, I just do this and I don't worry about anything else. I know they're very super individualistic. I can't deal with super individuals.
Okay, and that's your stand. That's your cutoff point. You know,
it's not a cutoff. I believe in knowing people as friends. Everybody doesn't have to be a lover and all like that, but it's good to have friends. And that's what I do with having people because humanity needs each other. What's that? Not really. It's not coming from a player point of view, but sometimes player with benefits happens. That's another story. I'm not talking about friends with benefits do happen, but I don't go after, especially me as an old guy. That's the least of my problem. I'm talking about as a guy that has matured in the last maybe 10 years of where I was.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, you know what? Some women may get offended by this, but some women have such a high standard, but yeah, you want a certain standard of man, but you're not
And
even
you're
there.
not bringing it to the table.
You're not even there. So how can you expect something of something else, of someone else? And you're not there. You want a man with an 800, 700, 600 credit score, but yours is 200 or 100. Come on. So,
For the women that appreciate you and our listeners and the gentlemen, what advice would you leave them? You know, in the end of all of your shows, your genuine saying is you want people to laugh more and love more. And so what advice do you give people who are genuinely looking for a decent person, right? That is responsible and coming to the table to match my energy, be evenly yoked with me.
that's the beginning right there. If you don't have a person who's evenly yoked or on the same level as you, there's always going to be imbalance. There's always going to be a struggle.
Right.
So I would say come to the table. You have to find somebody who you feel comfortable with being fully transparent with. And they need to meet that standard as well. You know, because if I'm going to put all my cards on the table, then you're going to have to put all your cards on the table. I feel the only way a relationship grows is if both people are willing to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable is taking your heart. Imagine taking your heart. If you had the ability to pull your heart out of your chest and put it on the table,
They had to use your life.
yeah, anybody can come along and kick it, spit on it, do everything, abuse it in any kind of way. If you're willing to put your heart on the table in front of somebody, and this person is willing to put their heart on the table for you, and it's fully transparent, we're not holding back no secrets. Don't judge me from what I say because you want answers. I'm going to give you the answers that you want, but you can't judge me by it. And I have to do it. I have to be able to do the same thing because we all go through different levels and layers in life, and we've all been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. You know, not everybody has had a fairy tale as he used to work life. We've all had hardships. We've all had downs and ups and downs, or sometimes more downs than ups. So accept the person for who they are and be real. I like real people. I don't need the flim flam. I'm in the industry of radio and entertainment, and all that could be nice in front of the curtain. You know, you want to present yourself in a certain way, but I want to see you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I want to see how. I don't want you to be a facade that just looks good on the outside. I want you to be real, and because I'm going to be real. I'm a real guy at the end of the day. People misconceive and think that because I do this, I'm a certain kind of way. I'm a regular dude from Brooklyn. I didn't grow up with money. I don't have a lot in my life, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm thankful that I have a purpose in life. It took me a while to understand my purpose. So God has given me that purpose.
Purpose is very good.
So I'm doing what God has opened up for me. He's given me a platform to speak. I wanted my voice to be heard. I'm not a singer, but my voice is heard. I'm not in one area. I'm in several areas. I'm in cities that I never thought I would even be in. Do I want to be in other cities? Of course. And that would be nice to touch people because my prayer is if I can just touch one person a day, just one. Maybe it's something I played. Maybe it's something I said, something to be motivated, something to open up their minds, something. Maybe it's a conversation that we've had on Confessions of Love. Because so many people come to me and say, yo, those topics, man, y'all be getting into it. And I like that because I think we're an icebreaker because a couple could be in the car. They may have never talked about anything that we're talking about, and we bring up the subject. And they're like,
before they get married, they have that conversation.
Or maybe they're married.
Right.
Really?
And they said,
Counseling, huh?
so it goes like, so what do you think about what he's saying? It opens up a conversation. You may not even talk about what you're sitting there. Maybe you go to your job. Maybe you're around your circle of people. And you're like, so I heard something the other day, and what do y'all think about this? It starts a conversation. That's what Indy and I try to do with these Confessions of Love topics. We try to start the conversation because we don't have but so much time to talk. When I get my talk show,
Right.
then I have more time to talk.
Forthcoming.
But
that's right. That's what you have to think about.
so but right now we only have 3 little segments, 4 on Thursdays. And we can, we get a chance to exchange, but there's so many people that have an opinion. That's why from time to time, we love to do the Confessions of Love uncensored. I'm trying to put together something, maybe in a few other places in New York, obviously, and a few other places that we're in, where we can go in there and do an uncensored. What I mean by uncensored.
Like real conversation.
Like no holds barred. We're going to tell you how it is. Yeah, this.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is real.
Right.
That's why I speak the way I speak.
But uncensored. Like, so, sometimes 4-letter words may come out. It's uncensored. It's just real.
Radio.
It's just real. So we like to do the real in front of people, uncensored spots, conversations as well. So hopefully we get a chance to do that. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I know this lady, she has a lot to say. And you hear me say it, I'm not bullshitting you. She is a professor. She is a therapist. She is an author. This is real talk.
He said that's my problem.
Old school, bro.
Old school.
You're old school to me.
I'm old school.
You're older than me.
That's fine.
I understand.
I'm happy with it.
I'm just saying.
I was born in 1975. It's just some things I'm not having.
That's what the Vietnam War.
I was out of the service 5 years ago. I got out of service 1969. That's definitely old school.
Brandon wasn't even a thought in the Brandon wasn't even a thought.
I got his back. Oh, that's my baby. That's my baby right there.
This is your mom.
Are you kidding me? She didn't call you? She texted you? Nah, you don't have to. I don't need to meet her. Let me call her.
How would your mom? Your mom is cool with a person just calling you and not? I mean, texting you and not calling you.
I just feel like she's all for someone that wanted to give so much first date in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because I've experienced. I told my wife one time I met this girl. I was trying to go out with her, but she didn't like what I was offering. I offered to go bowling with her, and she questioned my age.
She questioned your age for going bowling?
Yes.
Wait.
That's fun. That's a fun day.
Fun.
Well, how old was she?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know
You don't know how old
she was?
But if you had to assume,
She's too damn young to be insulted.
wow.
Maybe she was a cool.
So what kind of activities do you think she was expecting? You were done. You were done.
Thank God. You should have been.
You don't know how to have fun.
Thank God.
You don't have fun no more. Right? That's the problem. It's about having fun. It's not about anything else.
And spending time with someone.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, thank you for having us, for having me. Cheryl, shout out to you for holding it down.
Yeah.
It said two people. And two people. Who's the other
Who's
person?
the other person? They're quiet. They're just listening. They're listening.
Is it a troll? I like trolls. Come on. Start some trouble now.
Indy is supposed crazy.
The old school.
Right.
Old school people.
I'm bringing us back into the YouTube fold. So next time we do this, Lenny will have his Instagram live. I mean, where are we on YouTube? YouTube
I
live.
should have done this. Yeah.
Oh, right. That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's a new era. We're starting this up again. And I thank you. Listen, I am going to bring I can't bring it over here. Indy's Lens, that's our social media. At Lenny Green Official is his Instagram, his social media. Mwata, what's your Plebeian View? How do you spell that?
PLEBEIANVIEW.
Hit him up on YouTube, Asbury Park TV. Okay.
Boy, in the background.
Mr. Text message.
His name is Brandon, but Instagram at Steph Saucy, all right? The one and only, I'm telling you.
I like
Steph
that.
Saucy.
Steph Saucy.
That's a story in itself, I heard.
That's Steph with the F. F. P-H, I like Stephen Curry. That's Steph with the F.
Go ahead, bro.
Keep in touch with us. I will be back. We have so many more topics. The goal is to have other professionals and, on here, experts on here, different range. And again, like my base is always from spirit. So, I come from spirit first, from the inside, and I live out. And I'm just here to have real conversations within the YouTube, because now YouTube got all these rules. So, I might, for some of the conversations, I might have to have a Patreon. So I'm going to set up a Patreon page, and that's okay too. I love you much. I thank you for the support. Bye, Mr. Green. We got to go to work.
Thank you.
Hey, look, can you call us up?
Oh, yeah.
212-545-1075. We're having a conversation behind the scenes. So 212-545-1075. Hope to speak with you. If not tonight, some other time.
Peace out. Take care. That's interesting. Yeah, Lenny. You good finish?
Mm-hmm.